right to commit suicide to individuals that intend to donate their organs, postmortem. Our scientists believe that this motion should fall because it deflates the value of human life. Now, from our side, I'm going to talk about how it destroys the core value of life within society, and I'm going to talk about the role of the government to help in protecting the sanctity of life. Whereas my second speaker is going to talk about the impact on should this motion be accepted, on how the harms will create, on how the existence of the harms more than benefit, and he's going to talk about how the system manipulates people. Now, moving on to my rebuttals first. Now, coming from the government side itself, he came up here and said that the rights people, they are going to grant this right to commit suicide to people who plan to commit suicide in the first place. Now, this speaker, sir, we question that, how are you going to solve this problem itself? Because right now the problem is the short supply of organs. It's not regarding of how we are going to solve the problems of committing suicide, speaker, sir. So we say that if you were to grant this, if you were to grant the right to commit suicide, you're actually showing more harms, and you're showing that it's okay for them to simply abandon their life and end them, Mrs. Speaker. So we say that it brings more harm than benefit itself. Now, second thing, he came here and said about maximizing life and how it would be a greater good for the nation, Mrs. Speaker. So we argue back to that. How is it by granting the right for them to commit suicide will be a greater good for the nation, Mrs. Speaker? Because right now we see that the problem of committing suicide is a major issue in America itself, Mrs. Speaker. So that should be your focus right now. Instead of granting the right for them to commit suicide, simply for you to maximize the life of your people in the country, Mr. Speaker. So right now, moving to my first point itself, how it destroys the core value of life within society, Mr. Speaker. So when you are granting the right to commit suicide, Mr. Speaker, you are actually sending the wrong message to the public, Mr. Speaker. You are sending the wrong message by telling the public it's okay for you if you wish to end your life publicly, Mr. Speaker, because it is coming out from the government itself. It's okay for you if you do not want to live anymore. It's okay for you if you feel depressed. It's okay for you to end your life by saying that you want to donate organs, Mr. Speaker. So we see that how this actually you are basically sending the wrong message to the public, Mr. Speaker. And then the status quo right now itself, the rights of people to donate organs exist, Mr. Speaker. So we do not see the dying need of us to granting the right for them to commit suicide simply just to donate, Mr. Speaker. You see, there's no problem with the status quo right now. We see that the right itself is existing within this society, Mr. Speaker. What they need to do from the government side itself is right now show to us, prove to us what is actually the dire need that really pushes you to grant the right for these people to commit suicide simply to donate their organs, Mr. Speaker. Now, we see that if we were to grant this right for them, we see that it will be an escape. It will be an escape for those depressed people, Mr. Speaker. Because right now, what we want to do is want to heal, we want to help these depressed people. But if we were to grant the right for them to commit suicide, you are just telling them it's okay. If you're feeling depressed, it's okay for you to just end your life, Mr. Speaker. So because that is not what we want right now, Mr. Speaker. Because that is, yes. Mr. Speaker, sir, rather the problem is the shortage of supply of organs, Mr. Speaker. So if we were to allow them to just simply commit suicide on the basis of them trying to donate their organs, Mr. Speaker, you are telling them there is no value in life itself, Mr. Speaker, sir. So why, in the first place, you are trying to help these people to live, Mr. Speaker, when in the end you are telling them if you are bored with your life, if you want to end your life, it's okay. You could just commit suicide and then you can simply donate your organs, Mr. Speaker. So that's why so this is where I'm going to talk about my second point on the role of the government itself in protecting the sanctity of life, Mr. Speaker. So what basically the government needs to do right now is uphold the sanctity of life, Mr. Speaker, by simply telling them it's not okay for you to just simply end your life when you are done with it, Mr. Speaker. What the government needs to do they get organs, supply organs, by granting the right for them to commit suicide, Mr. Dickinson, we see that this is wrong for the government to do, Mr. Dickinson, because the role of the government itself is to protect the people, Mr. Dickinson. So that's what they need to do right now. If should the government come here and say that we are trying to help these people by simply telling the other people who want to donate to commit suicide, Mr. Dickinson, we see that that is a wrong action for them to do, Mr. Dickinson. Because right now what they need to do is to try to help these people who are in dire need of these organs, Mr. Dickinson. Not trying to create more problems by telling its people to commit suicide, Mr. Dickinson. So that's why we are here to argue to them what is the dire need for them to grant the right to let these people to commit suicide simply on the basis of donating organs, Mr. Dickinson. And we argue to them that the status quo right now, the rights for them to donate organs is existing, Mr. Dickinson. It exists right now where people have the right to donate organs. So there's no need for you to grant the right for them to simply commit suicide just to get more organs, Mr. Dickinson. Because we see that will create more harms instead of benefits to the people, Mr. Dickinson, essentially in America itself, where committing suicide is basically a major problem in that country, Mr. Dickinson. And we argue to them, Mr. Dickinson, by saying that it will create more harms instead of creating more benefits to people, Mr. Dickinson. But we see that the problem right now in America is suicide, committing suicide, Mr. Dickinson. So instead of trying to create more suicide cases, Mr. Dickinson, you should try to curb that problem. You should try to curb that problem and try to solve this problem of shortage of supply organs in the first place, Mr. Dickinson. Not by telling them that it's okay for you